To think I was defending your honor. And now I come to find you claim yourself violated upon finding yourself with child.
I was violated, you self-righteous bastard! By someone else!
What if I told you that everything we believed about Claire's stillborn baby Faith was wrong? That Faith never actually died in Paris, and that the biggest heartbreak of Claire and Jamie's past is about to explode into something far more shocking? Outlander Season 8 may not only rewrite Claire's history, it may shatter the entire Fraser family tree. And if this theory is even half true, then yes, William may have just fallen in love with his own niece. Brace yourself, because this isn't just a theory. This is the twist that will leave Outlander fans absolutely speechless. When Outlander Season 7 ended, we were left with an emotional tidal wave, but nothing prepared us for that haunting little moment that changed everything. Claire, fragile and healing, lying in her sickbed, sees a vision, or maybe not a vision at all. Master Raymond appears beside her, whispers, an apology tells her to have faith, and vanishes. On its own, maybe we'd dismiss it as a dream. But then comes the real gut punch. Frances, Jane's little sister, a girl with a mysterious past, a beautiful voice, and a quiet sadness that clings to every word she says. Claire doesn't know what to make of her at first. She just knows something feels familiar. And then Frances sings that lullaby. The very same lullaby Claire sang to her stillborn baby in Paris. The song she never told anyone about. The song no one else should know. And yet here it is, echoing back to her from the lips of a stranger. A child. A child whose mother's name was Faith. Now stop for a second, breathe, let that sink in. Because this is the kind of twist that Outlander doesn't just drop lightly. For seasons we've carried Claire's grief over losing Faith like a scar across time. That trauma shaped her, changed her, broke her in a way that Jamie could never fully heal. And suddenly, after all these years, there's a hint, just a hint, that Faith didn't die. That Master Raymond, who we know has his own mysterious connection to time healing and life itself, may have saved that baby. Stolen her away, hid her, raised her under another name, another life. And now, somehow that girl had a daughter of her own, Frances, which would make her biologically Claire and Jamie's granddaughter. Do you see what this means? If Frances is Faith's child, and if William had any romantic connection to her, even unknowingly, then yes, William may have fallen for his own niece, and the implications of that are massive. For the family, for Jamie, for Claire, for everything they thought they knew about the past. And let's not ignore how this throws the entire Dunsany Grey William triangle into chaos. William has spent his life struggling with his identity, with being the bastard son of Jamie Fraser, with the lies that shaped his childhood. But now he might also be the unwitting player in an even darker family secret, one that no one could have predicted. A secret born not just from time travel, but from a miracle or a cover-up. And here's where it gets even more intense. If Faith is alive, that means someone, likely Master Raymond, has been pulling strings across decades, manipulating lives, hiding truths. And now, as the series nears its final chapter, all of that is unraveling. Because Claire is beginning to remember, to see the pattern, to feel the tug of her daughter's presence through the quiet gestures, the familiar looks, the song that never should have survived. And the timing? It's perfect. The Season 8 is set to be the final season. We know from the books, and the clues the show has been dropping for years, that Jamie and Claire will die in a house fire. It's been prophesied, printed in the papers, of the past and teased more than once. But what if that fire isn't an accident? What if it's tied to the truth about Faith? To Master Raymond's return? To forces far more dangerous than war or politics? Forces rooted in time, bloodlines, and secrets that were never supposed to come to light? This isn't just about one lost baby. This is about the unraveling of everything the Frasers believed, and the beginning of a final reckoning that will either reunite them with the child they lost or destroy them completely. Let's move deeper into this theory. Because trust me, it only gets darker from here. For years, Master Raymond has hovered at the edge of Outlander's story, more myth than man. A strange apothecary, a healer, a traveler of time, perhaps even something more. He vanished from Claire's life after Paris, but never truly left her. Story. And now, as Season 8 begins to unfold, his shadow is growing larger. Because if he saved Faith, then he's been working from the shadows this entire time, protecting Claire from a grief that would have destroyed her and shaping history in ways we're only just beginning to understand. But why? Why hide Faith? Why separate a child from her mother? And why wait until now? The answer may be more terrifying than anyone expected, because Claire's connection to time isn't just about portal stones or strange bloodlines. It's about the ghost. Yes, the ghost. The one from Season 1. The man in the kilt standing outside. Claire's window in the 1940s. The one Frank saw. The one the books and show have never explained. That ghost is Jamie. But how did he get there? And why? Some fans believe it's Jamie's spirit traveling through time to watch Claire before she even knew who he was. Others say it's a future Jamie, older alone reaching across centuries, for the woman he's always loved. But what if it's neither? What if that moment is connected to the exact same force that allowed Faith to survive? What if Master Raymond has always known Claire's fate? And what if he's been trying to change it? There's a theory, an ancient one, that Claire's bloodline is special, that her healing gift, her connection to time, even her ability to survive events that should have killed her, comes from something older than science, something spiritual. She and Master Raymond share this. They're both what he calls of the same kind. And if that's true, then Claire's grief over Faith wasn't just a tragedy, it was a breaking point in her timeline, the moment she might have lost her gift forever. And that, more than anything, may be why Raymond intervened. Not just to save a child, but to save Claire's soul. But now, that soul is in danger again, because the visions are returning. The flickers, the voices, the unexplained chills, the moments when time folds in on itself, and Claire feels like someone or something is watching her. We've seen it before, and we'll see it again in Season 8. Only this time the truth will finally come out. That ghost? It's not just Jamie, it's the end of Jamie. The final version of him. The one who's already lost Claire once and is trying to stop it from happening again. This is where the timeline breaks, where past, present, and future collide, where Faith, Frances, Jamie, and Claire are no longer just a family torn by war, but a bloodline twisted by time itself. And if the fire truly comes, if the newspaper prediction about Claire and Jamie dying in a blaze is real, then the only one who can save them may be the very child they thought they lost. Now buckle up, because Season 8 is about to dive deep into the heart of darkness. The fire. The one we all know is coming, the one that has been teased since the very first season. Jamie and Claire's story is legendary, filled with moments of passion, heartbreak, and courage. But nothing has haunted fans more than the inevitable blaze that will take them away. This leads us back to Faith and Frances. Faith's survival, hidden from Jamie and Claire for years, wasn't just an accident or a mystery to solve. It's a key piece of this prophecy puzzle. Faith represents hope healing and the continuation of Claire's bloodline, but also the weight of secrets kept in darkness. When Jamie and Claire find Frances, the granddaughter who carries Faith's memory and song, they are faced with a new mission to protect this child from the forces that have hunted their family across time. Master Raymond's involvement hints that there are greater powers at play, powers that manipulate time fate and the lives of those tied to the stones. The prophecy, the fire, and the bloodline come together in one explosive revelation. Jamie and Claire's deaths are not just an ending. They are the beginning of a cycle where Faith's return could rewrite history, heal old wounds, and maybe even prevent the tragic fire from happening. Or at least change its meaning. Could Faith, the daughter thought lost, become the catalyst for a future where Jamie and Claire's legacy is preserved, not destroyed? This is where the story promises to get emotional and mind-bending all at once. In addition to the personal stakes, Season 8 will explore how the Fraser family legacy is threatened by outside forces. The political turmoil, the encroaching tensions, from the American Revolution's aftermath, and enemies who want to tear apart the fragile peace Jamie and Claire fought so hard to build. The arrival of the Mackenzies, their attempt to uncover the mysteries of time travel alongside Jamie and Claire, and the final confrontations with antagonists who seek to exploit the stone's power will add layers of danger and urgency to the narrative. These external threats will force the Frasers to make impossible choices that will test their love, loyalty, and strength. Emotionally, the Fire storyline is the ultimate test of Jamie and Claire's bond. After decades of separation, heartbreak, and reunion, their final moments together promise to be raw, tender, and shattering. Fans can expect to see their love pushed to its limits, whether it's through Claire's struggle to save Jamie's desperate fight to protect his family, or the quiet, heartbreaking acceptance of fate. The show has hinted at flashbacks, memories, and dreams that will weave through these final scenes, reminding viewers of everything Jamie and Claire have endured and why their story matters so much. Moreover, The Fire isn't just about death, it's about what comes after. The haunting final scene of Jamie's ghost outside Claire's window takes on new meaning in this light. It's a moment of love that transcends time and mortality. It's a promise that even in death, their connection remains unbroken. It's a symbol of hope amidst tragedy. This ghostly image will no doubt become one of the most iconic and emotionally charged moments in the series, encapsulating the bittersweet ending fans have feared but also secretly hoped for. But here's the twist. That has tongues wagging, some fans speculate that Claire might use the stones one last time to alter the course of history. That the Fire could be avoided, or that their deaths will happen in a way that allows their story to continue beyond what the books reveal. Time travel, after all, is a messy, unpredictable force in Outlander. The showrunners may surprise us with an ending that honors the books but adds a new layer of mystery and hope. So what does all this mean for the fans waiting anxiously for Season 8? It means prepare yourself for a roller coaster of emotions, surprises, and revelations. The Fire will burn brightly, leaving scars and memories that will shape the future of Frasers Ridge and the legacy of one of television's greatest love stories. But it also means that the story isn't over. Not really, because as long as there are stones, bloodlines, and the power of love strong enough to cross time, Jamie and Claire's journey will continue, in memory, in spirit, and maybe even in new and unexpected ways. You thought Stephen Bonnet was gone. You thought his story was over. That cold, cruel smuggler who haunted Brianna, who played games with people's lives, who died screaming on that beach with a bullet in his head. But what if I told you he's not gone? Not really, because what Bonnet started was never about gold, never about revenge. It wasn't even truly about Brianna. No, it was something much darker, something hidden in the shadows of time, something that could unravel the entire story of Outlander. And now in Season 8, the truth is coming to light, and it's more terrifying than we ever imagined. Stephen Bonnet may be dead in the flesh, but his legacy is far from buried. In fact, it's just beginning, because Bonnet wasn't working alone. There were whispers back in Ireland, strange symbols, odd meetings, secret handoffs. A coin passed here, a name spoken there, and one name keeps coming up: Faith. Not Brianna, not Jemmy, not Claire, not even Jamie Faith. The child who died in Paris. The child we all mourned. The one Claire held in her arms beneath candlelight, wrapped in silence and heartbreak. But what if that child didn't die? What if something took her? Think about it. Bonnet had connections far beyond what we ever saw. He knew the seas, yes. But he also knew the Freemasons, the smugglers in Jamaica, the secret societies that deal in time fate and bloodlines. And he always seemed to know just a little too much about Claire, about her healing, about Jamie, about Bree's future, about what mattered most to the Frasers. And in Season 8, it's becoming clear Bonnie had help from a group that understood time travel, from people who had been watching Claire since the day she stepped through the stones, from people who knew exactly who Faith was and what she would become. You see, Faith wasn't just any child. She was born of Claire, a woman out of time, and Jamie, a man bound to destiny. That kind of child carries power, and to some, she's a threat. To others, a tool. Bonnet wasn't hunting Bree. He was sent to watch the Frasers, to test them, to hurt them just enough to draw someone else out, and that someone might have been Faith. Because in Season 8, new evidence surfaces. Letters in a locked drawer, maps stained with blood names encoded in old Gaelic prayers. And in one of those letters, we hear the impossible Faith Beauchamp Fraser lives. Suddenly, everything we knew about Bonnet shifts. He wasn't just cruel for the sake of cruelty. He was a predator sent to disrupt the time stream, to fracture the Fraser family, to weaken them before the final storm, and maybe he succeeded. Because Faith has been seen in visions. In dreams, a girl with violet eyes, a girl wearing a cross, a girl who speaks in riddles and walks through time as if it bends for her. Is she alive? Is she human? Or has the trauma of being taken, of being hidden, turned her into something else entirely? Bonnet's obsession was never about owning people. It was about control. Control of the timeline. Control of the Fraser bloodline. And in his twisted mind, Faith was the crown jewel, the one who should never have been born, or worse, the one who was supposed to lead something darker. There are whispers now in Season 8 of an old prophecy, of a child born twice but loved only once, a child who walks between life and death, a child whose cry could end the war of time. And Bonnet? He knew. He was trying to prevent it, or claim it for himself. And he may not be the last. There are others now. Mysterious travelers who don't use the stones, a woman with fire-red hair and no shadow, a man with no name but a silver ring that glows near Jamie, and they all seem to be circling the same place, Frasers Ridge. They're not coming for gold. They're not coming for Claire. They're coming for Faith, the child who should never have survived, and yet somehow did. This changes everything, because if Faith is alive, if she's been alive all this time, then Bonnet's death wasn't the end. It was the warning, the beginning of a much deeper war, one that spans centuries, one that involves not just the Frasers, but the Beauchamps, the Randalls, the Mackenzies, and even the Comte Saint-Germain. Because remember, he was never just an alchemist, he was a time traveler too, and he had his eye on Claire long before anyone else. He spoke of timelines of sacred children of balance and death. Was he trying to protect Faith or harvest her? In Season 8, this war reaches its breaking point. The ridge will fall. Jamie will be forced to choose between his blood and his oath. Claire will face the ghost of her past, literally. And Brianna, she will come face to face with her sister, the sister she never knew, the sister she almost lost, and maybe the sister she might have to save, or worse, let go. Stephen Bonnet's legacy is not a corpse rotting on a beach. It is a storm rolling through time, disrupting everything the Frasers tried to build. It is a whisper in the night, a prophecy carved into stone and buried in blood. And it is far from over, because if Faith lives, if she truly returns, then the final battle isn't against war or redcoats or even time itself. And now, it all comes crashing together. The return of Faith, the resurrection of secrets, the shadow of Stephen Bonnet. Outlander Season 8 is not just a continuation, it's a reckoning. Every choice Jamie and Claire made, every battle they won, every tear they shed, it was all leading to this. A season not just about survival, but about legacy, about time collapsing in on itself, and about a daughter, once thought dead, walking back into their lives with a truth more terrifying than any war they've faced, because Faith is not the same child Jamie buried in grief. She's not the soft infant they never got to raise. She's a woman now, a mystery, a storm wearing the face of a Fraser. But where has she been? Who raised her? And why, out of all moments, has she returned now when the Frasers stand on the edge of ruin? There's something in her eyes, a flicker of pain too deep for words, a knowledge that stretches beyond the years she should have lived. Some fans believe she was pulled through time, rescued by forces unknown, maybe by Gillis Duncan's lost followers, or by the still unnamed time traveler Claire met only once in passing. Others believe she was never dead at all, that the nuns lied that a deal was struck, and Faith was taken by someone who needed a child or a pawn, not out of malice, not out of cruelty, but because someone told her a lie so convincing, so devastating, that she now sees Jamie and Claire not as her parents, but as her enemies. Imagine it. A girl raised in the shadows told that her real mother abandoned her, that her father let her die, that her bloodline is cursed, dangerous, a threat to all of history. If Faith believes that if someone twisted her mind with just enough truth to fuel the pain, then Season 8 won't just be about finding her. It'll be about saving her from the past, from the lies, and from herself. And she's not alone, because deep within the royal archives, Lord John uncovers a name that shouldn't exist. A boy born to Genevieve Beauchamp. A boy raised under protection. No birth certificate, no estate, just a name. Stephen, another Stephen. And the resemblance to Bonnet is undeniable. But here's the real horror. He's not a child anymore. He's a man, a leader, and he's been building an army in the Americas, waiting for the war to end, for the king to fall, for the colonies to rise. Waiting for the Frasers to be vulnerable. It all converges. The letters intercepted, the disappearing shipments, the failed crops, the whispered names. Everything in Jamie and Claire's world is unraveling, and they're too distracted to see it. Because while Jamie prepares for battle, while Claire tries to understand Faith's return, their enemies are already inside the walls. Allies they thought. We're loyal have begun to shift. Fergus hears whispers on the docks. Marsali receives a letter warning her to flee.